Hello and welcome to the Car Smart Motorsport channel, and this is a yearly update, and I thought this was the easiest way to update everyone, and I will try and keep it as short as possible and update you on some of the changes. First of all, Merry Christmas to you all, and a massive thanks to all of you who turn up every week and participate, give up your time. We all have busy lives these days, and I just want you all to know how much I really appreciate it. And also a special thank you to Tepic, also known as Richard, who helps with testing and jumps in a minute's notice and hosts from time to time. When we started it, we started with a couple of drivers, and over a period of time we've seen it grow, and we have some members that have been with us a long time now. But we do need to try and increase our numbers a bit. So if anyone knows someone that might like to join, then please let me know. Secondly, Car Smart Motorsport was created for any age or ability, and I do want that to continue. I think it's very important. Having said that, it is a racing game or a sim. It's not Destruction Derby. There have been a few incidents this year which have been a bit dubious, and we need to really avoid that. The Fun Cup is still a serious race. It's easier for several reasons. The fact that we have the same car, there's no tyres or fuel to worry about, there's no pit stops, and there's no strategy. It's a simple race, and the idea of the Fun Cup was if people don't have time to practice or test, they can just jump on, whereas in the normal race there is some strategy and it's worth practicing. So in the Fun Cup we should not be barging people out of the way. We have mixed abilities in this group. Some people will always be quicker, so set your own targets. Me, for example, I rarely win. So if I come third in a race, to me, that's a win. So for example, if you always come last, aim to come second last. These are all good achievements, and any improvement is good. And for me personally, I try and treat it as a proper club. So i.e. if I was in a darts team and went to the pub every Wednesday, I wouldn't turn up without me darts. Take it seriously. Let's all try and improve our racecraft, not crashing or barging people out of the way. Accidents will happen, and that's fine. If you miss your braking point, etc., whatever. But remember the rule: if you accidentally knock somebody off, you must stop and give the place back, no excuses. Now, I will just give you two examples of this where there are times where that doesn't happen. There was a race a little while ago at Goodwood, and what actually happened was I got tagged from behind and it pushed me onto the grass. At that point I tried to steer and brake and I couldn't do anything. I was a complete passenger, and I skidded across the track and unfortunately took out Dave's speed. Now in that case I wouldn't stop and give the place back because that's completely out of my control. I was knocked off in the first place, so that is an incident where I wouldn't expect you to stop and give the place back because it was out of your control. However, if I go steaming into a corner, miss my braking point and pile into the back of somebody and push them off, then you should give the place back. Right, now for some changes. We have been going for a couple of years now and the club has grown, and I think it's time we get a bit more professional. So to that end, there are some changes. The Fun Cup, which I never liked the name, will change to the club race, and it will keep exactly the same format. So there will be no tyres, no fuel, all in the same car. But I will want some ideas, car ideas, from all of you throughout the year that you think will be good for the club race. The other race will just be the normal main event. There are some changes to that particular race as well. There will be no more sprint race. We're going back to our original old format. There will be a 6 minutes qualify and then one race with a grid start with a false check. We will still have various championships throughout the year, like the Manufacturers' Cup and others, and I will also be looking to do some prizes this year, especially for the Manufacturers' Cup and some of the others. There will actually be a physical trophy, and hopefully there'll be a few other surprises along the way. Right, there has also been some changes to how the club is run. So Greg has stepped down from his role within the club, and with that in mind I can't run the whole thing by myself. So Victor Meldew, otherwise known as John, will now be our club president. As one of our older members, I think it only fitting and right that he is president of the club, and he will help with some of the running and the ideas for the club's future. We also welcome Tepic Richard, who has now been appointed as technical director. Richard has helped behind the scenes for a long, long time, and I thank him very much for his help. He has given so much of his time up all the time to help when I've really needed it. So together with myself, John and Richard, we have a better structure for the club, and of course in the future these roles may change and we can have other people helping out as well, of course. So that's about it for the club. I just wanted to pick up on a couple of points. The Manufacturers' Cup that's coming this year, or 2022, you will pick your own teammate this time, so they will be two-man teams. So it's up to you to pick someone between yourselves. Let's try and keep it fair though. We shouldn't end up with the two fastest people on the same team. As for actually picking a manufacturer, this will come later, because what we're going to try and do is going to try and do some qualifying races or something, which then gives you a manufacturer. So you don't necessarily pick a manufacturer. You do a couple of races and qualify, and you'll then earn that manufacturer. But we'll do more on this later in the year. Right, and we better mention obviously GT7 or Gran Turismo 7. Obviously the release date is March the 4th, and it looks like that is going to happen on time. The amount of footage they keep releasing in snippets and little clips, so I have every reason to believe that that will go ahead on March the 4th. What I will say is, as a club, we want to move on to that game as soon as possible. Now, as it's playable on the PS4 and PS5, you don't have to rush to buy a PS5. Obviously, I think it will probably run better on a PS5, but you don't need to rush out and get one. But what I would say is, if you want to pre-order the game, by all means do that, because as a club, I would like, it does come out on March the 4th. The following week, I want us to be on the new game. So we've got new cars, new tracks, and hopefully some new settings to play around with. So if you want to pre-order, there are some deals. Keep looking on the Sony website, obviously, or in the Play Store. And if you want, we are going to go over to it, so it's worth pre-ordering it. But obviously, that's up to you individually. Right. Also, last year we were going to try and do a real-life meetup. It got scrapped due to COVID. However, fingers crossed, hopefully, it's something we can do this year. And I've got a great weekend planned. I'll give you some of the general details now, but it's just something we can pick up on in the new year. So what we're thinking is, there's a museum called the Great British Car Journey. It's in Abergate, Derbyshire. The postcode's DE562HE, if anyone wants to look it up. I obviously have a website. It's basically a museum, and it's got over 100 cars, old cars right up to new McLarens. So there's quite a range there. They also do drives where you can actually drive a car. And there's various cars to pick from, and they're very random. So, for example, they've got an Austin Allegro that you can drive. There's a Rolls Royce, there's Jags, there's some sports cars, there's some Cosworth thing. So it's a massive range of cars that you can drive. So what we were looking at is doing 2 drives each, and then going to the museum. So the idea would be book this for the Saturday, meet at the museum. So we do our drives, go around the museum, then maybe go somewhere to eat, stay at a Premier Inn on the Saturday night, and then on Sunday go to Donington Park, because that's very close by, and we could watch some real life motor racing. Looking at the rough costs at the moment, the museum's about £100, but that's for the museum, and that includes 2 drives, which are about half an hour a drive, so you're going to get about an hour's worth of driving in the particular cars that you pick. 25 for a meal roughly, 50 for the hotel. Donington Park's about 18, so it's about 193 for the whole weekend. But it is something to think about, and like I say, we'll pick it up. We wouldn't be going to August, September next year, so there's plenty of time. Let us know if you're interested. It is in the middle of the country. That's another reason why we've picked it, because it is in the middle. So hopefully, it's sort of fair enough for everybody to travel to. Obviously, if we do get 10 or 15 names down, then I will try and contact them and see if we can get any sort of discount, which may be possible. So that's about it for that. So that's for the real life meetup. Hopefully we can do it. It'd be great to actually see you all. Also at this point, I would like to thank Bubble Top or Anton. He's given up a lot of time to help make this video, and really do appreciate that, and obviously appreciate his help as always. So that's about all, folks, and have a very good new year, and I look forward to seeing you all on the track in 2022. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like if you liked it, and we'll see you in another one.